Philip "Phil" Coe, often hailed as one of the most legendary gunfighters in Texas, was not only a skilled shooter, but also wore many other hats, such as being a soldier, a gambler, and a businessman. He counted the renowned figure Ben Thompson, known for his prowess with a gun and his gambling skills, among his closest friends. Born in Gonzales, Texas, in July 1839, as Philip Houston Coe to Elizabeth Parker Coe and Philip Haddix Coe, Phil would eventually earn a reputation as one of Texas's most formidable gunfighters. In September 1861, he enlisted in the Confederate forces in Houston, Texas, to participate in the Civil War, where he swiftly rose to the rank of 3rd lieutenant. However, a few months later, he was discharged due to illness in December. By March 1862, he had re-enlisted in the Confederate forces, becoming a member of the 36th Texas Cavalry. He served for over a year before leaving the military in April 1863. After the Civil War came to an end, it's believed that he teamed up with Ben Thompson to serve alongside Emperor Maximilian in Mexico. While under the wing of the renowned gunfighter and gambler Ben Thompson, Coe refined his shooting and gambling abilities. Around late 1869, he found himself in Brenham, where his sister Delilah and her family resided. It was in Brenham that he crossed paths and engaged in gambling with infamous figures like James Madison Brown, John Wesley Hardin, and William P. Longley. Subsequently, he ventured to Salina, Kansas in 1870, but by May 1871, he had made his way to the lively Kansas cowtown of Abilene. In Abilene, he encountered both Ben Thompson and Bill Hickok, who was serving as the city marshal at the time. Coe and Thompson quickly joined forces to run the Bull's Head Saloon, which was already known as one of the rowdiest establishments in the already lively cowtown. Predictably, this partnership led to conflicts between Thompson and Coe and the town's city marshal, Bill Hickok. While there were several disputes, tensions escalated when Thompson and Coe displayed a large painting of a Texas longhorn, with all its masculine attributes intact at the Bull's Head Saloon. The sign offended most of the Abilene residents, who insisted that the animal's anatomy be modified. Consequently, Hickok kept watch with a shotgun as the necessary adjustments were made to the painting. Undoubtedly, the tension was palpable, and the alterations were carried out without any major incidents. Despite Coe and Hickok continuing to have numerous disputes, and their mutual animosity being well known, Thompson and Hickok never seemed to clash, apparently holding a mutual respect for each other's reputations. Later on, Thompson left town, and Coe sold his share in the saloon, although he continued to pursue his career as a gambler. When Hickok and Coe found themselves vying for the affections of the same woman, rumors began to circulate that each of them intended to eliminate the other. At one point, during a heated argument, Coe boasted about his sharpshooting skills, claiming he could kill a crow on the wing. Hickok retorted with, "Did the crow have a pistol? Was he shooting back? I will be." Eventually, the tension between Phil Coe and Wild Bill Hickok would culminate in the ultimate gunfight. On the night of October 5th, 1871, the trouble came to a head. It was the end of the cattle season, and Coe, along with several fellow Texas cowboys, was celebrating by indulging in drinks and revelry at the numerous saloons in Abilene. As the cowboys approached the Alamo Saloon, a ferocious dog attempted to bite Coe, prompting the gunfighter to take a shot at the animal. Although he missed the dog, Hickok arrived on the scene just minutes later in response to the gunfire. The marshal demanded that Coe hand over his firearms, as a local ordinance prohibited carrying them within the city limits. Instead of complying with this request, Coe fired a shot in Hickok's direction. In response, the marshal returned fire, hitting Coe twice in the stomach. Simultaneously, Hickok heard approaching footsteps from behind and swiftly turned to fire, accidentally killing Deputy Mike Williams, who had been coming to his aid. Coe endured days of excruciating pain before succumbing on October 9th. His remains were then transported back to Brenham and laid to rest in Prairie Lee Cemetery. Simultaneously, Hickok compelled the remaining cowboys to leave town. However, Abilene's residents had reached their limit. It wasn't long before the city's authorities informed the Texans that no more cattle drives would be permitted through their town, and they also relieved Hickok of his duties as city marshal. While there were speculations that Ben Thompson might seek revenge against Hickok for the shooting, he ultimately refrained from doing so, and in some people's assessments, appeared to believe that the shooting had been justified. William Whitney Brazelton, who went by the alias Brazen Bill, was a notorious stagecoach bandit active in the Wild West regions of Arizona and New Mexico. Brazelton asserted that he hailed from Missouri, but spent his childhood in San Francisco, California. However, at some juncture, he found himself orphaned and struggling to survive on the tough streets of the Barbary Coast. It's rumored that he took a man's life when he was only 15 years old. Very little information is available regarding his early years. In 1876, he made his way to Prescott, Arizona, with a promise of putting on a grand performance that involved devouring a wagon wheel, along with other remarkable acts. He managed to gather funds from the townsfolk for the show, stating that he would soon assemble the rest of the performing group. However, he vanished without a trace. He was characterized as a sizable man, towering over 6 feet in height, weighing more than 200 pounds, and possessing exceptional skills as a marksman. On April 28, 1877, a stagecoach traveling between Socorro and Las Lunas, New Mexico, fell victim to a robbery in which 3 gold bars and a box of silver were stolen. This is believed to have marked his inaugural stagecoach heist. His modus operandi involved concealing his face with a mask, wielding a pistol and rifle in one hand, while demanding that the driver and passengers surrender their valuable belongings. During the same year, he arrived in Tucson, Arizona, where he took on work as a hauler, transporting hay and grain. On September 27, 1877, approximately 12 miles north of Wickenburg, Arizona, the California and Arizona stagecoach was targeted in a robbery. Wearing a black gauze mask and attire resembling that of a laborer, Brazelton compelled the driver to dismount and secure the horses. In the course of the heist, he opened the mailbags and the express box, from which he seized $600 from a registered package, a collection of gold coins and gold dust valued at $1,300, and an additional $470 in cash, as well as other items worth $250. On May 28, 1878, the stagecoach traveling from Silver City, New Mexico, was robbed at Cook's Canyon. This particular robbery yielded fewer proceeds, as Brazelton only made away with $26 in registered mail, an aged silver watch, and $13 taken from the driver and fellow passengers. On July 31, 1878, Brazelton carried out a robbery on a stagecoach located at Point Mountain, Arizona, approximately 18 miles away from Tucson. During the heist, he discovered that the express box was empty, and the 2 mailbags contained no valuable items. Instead, he seized $37 in cash and a pair of earrings from the passengers. At this point, the robber had abandoned his black gauze mask, opting for a white mask featuring cut-out eye holes and a red-colored mouth. Subsequently, on August 15, 1878, the bandit once again targeted the stagecoach at Point Mountain, managing to abscond with $234 in cash from the passengers. These were not the only recorded robberies attributed to him, as authorities estimated that he had committed robberies on 9 separate stagecoaches in Arizona and New Mexico. On August 19, 1878, Pima County Sheriff Charles A. Schibel led a group of local citizens in pursuing William Brazelton. During the pursuit, the horse ridden by Brazen Bill lost a shoe, leaving a distinctive imprint that enabled the pursuers to trace it back to a horse corral owned by David Nemitz, a young rancher. While Brazen Bill wasn't found at the corral, Nemitz was apprehended as an accessory to the crimes. Nemitz claimed he had been coerced into participating as an accessory to the robberies and was willing to provide information if he could be safeguarded from the dangerous outlaw. He also disclosed that Brazelton had intentions to stage another robbery and warned the sheriff that capturing Brazelton alive would require cunning strategy. The posse managed to trail the outlaw to a mesquite bosque along the Santa Cruz River, approximately 3 miles south of Tucson, on August 22, 1878. There, Brazelton was shot and killed. Upon searching his possessions, Brazelton was found to have 2 cartridge belts, 2 pistols, a Remington rolling block rifle, his mask, distinctive earrings obtained from the Point Mountain robbery, and a gold watch. His body was transported to Tucson, where it was photographed twice, first while wearing the mask and then unmasked. The corpse was displayed in an upright position in front of the courthouse until the following day when he was buried. Governor John Hoyt received a telegram from W.J. Osborne in Tucson stating, "Sheriff Shibell and his posse killed William Brazelton last night while attempting to arrest him. Brazelton appears to be the notorious figure who, on his own, had robbed the United States Mail in various locations throughout the territory.